closer to him. From cares he sets me free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. For his eye is on the sparrow, and I know he's protecting, and I know that he's loving, and I know he watches me.
So I want to say how wonderful it is to have you back, Sean. It's so good to see you. We have a beautiful music ministry. And Daniel, can you share your good news with the congregation? Okay.
Everybody probably already knows, I have a barbershop quartet. I've been singing for about 5 years now, and we've been on just a real awesome journey over the last few years. Last year, one of my members decided that he was no longer going to be a part of our group, so we picked up another gentleman, and we worked our butts off for like the last 10 months. Lori can tell you, because we were rehearsing at the church a lot of Saturdays and Wednesdays. But we just had a competition in Utah. Some of you all came out to our concert. Thank you so much for your support. But we were able to walk away with first place this time. Thank you very much. And I said this in the first service. I know from my quartet, and mostly from me, from the church. Thank you all so much for everything that you do. I'm away from the church for a week, and it just feels like it's been a month. So this time it's been 2 weeks, so I'm at 2 months now. So I love you all, and again, thank you all so much for everything.
So that's first place in the world. In the world. And I'm quite sure there's some good juju in here. So all those rehearsals in here helped you. I know it. So I've really been getting some messages over the last couple of weeks that have really gotten my attention. It's almost been impossible for me to get away from them. Do you know what I mean by that? You know when that happens? When no matter where you are or what you're doing or who you're with, what is happening in your life, Spirit is knocking at that door and will not stop until we stop and pay attention and answer the door. The first message came as I opened a monthly correspondence that I receive from the Soul Collage community. Soul Collage is a creative way that I use to explore and heal places within me. It is one of my spiritual practices that I'm going to add requires no artistic ability that I love and has given me much insight, acceptance, and meaning in the many challenges and changes in my own life. This particular correspondence was on the theme of strength in brokenness. Strength in brokenness. And the idea that what appears to be an ending is just a beginning. The article went on to describe something called kintsugi. I'd never heard of it before. Kintsugi is the ancient Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. I was incredibly intrigued by this art and the beautiful spiritual symbolism in it. So I Googled it. And I learned a lot. I learned that kintsugi, which means golden joinery, began in 15th century Japan. Military commander and shogun Ashikaga Yoshimasa, I've been practicing that, broke his prized Chinese tea bowl. And heartsick over his loss, in a desperate attempt to save this bowl, he sent it back to China for repair. But what he received back was his bowl covered in bulky, ugly metal staples. At this, he called many craftsmen together to find a more aesthetically pleasing way to fix his precious bowl. The craftsman came up with a liquid combination lacquer and gold powder that not only held the pottery together, but made it even stronger and more beautiful. It is said about kintsugi, the fractures, the breaks, the imperfections don't represent the end, but just a moment in history, emblazoned in golden significance. How beautiful is that? The fractures, the breaks, the imperfections don't represent the end, but just a moment in history, emblazoned in golden significance. So beautiful and so amazing that I can again Google kintsugi bowl, and in 3 days I get one at my door. So after service, I'll have this out in the narthex. It is absolutely beautiful. And you can see probably the gold lines in it where it's been broken, but it just makes it more beautiful. Message number 1. Life is a continuing story. Endings are just beginnings. And every moment has golden significance because God is in it. 13th century Sufi mystic Rumi said it like this: the wound, the break, is the place where the light enters. I was very inspired the other day by a young woman telling her life story. It was a journey which had taken many twists and turns, some frightening, some traumatic, and some divinely magical. During her talk, she raised her forearm to show us what she described as the most beloved of all of her tattoos. It was a message she had heard many, many years ago, but was never able to receive it until she was broken open and healed. It was a quote from The Wizard of Oz, from Glenda the Good Witch, and it was this one, you'll remember. You've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it by yourself. Those ruby slippers. We always have what we need, don't we? We always have what we need to be healed, to be comforted, to be guided, to be loved, don't we? But we must take those journeys. experience what we must on our own paths, to make our own discovery of what we really have already, of who we really are. No one can do it for us. It's our journey. It's how we wake up. Your life is a sacred journey, and it is about change and growth and discovery, of movement and transformation, continuously expanding your vision of what is possible for you, stretching your soul, learning to see clearly and deeply, listening to your intuition, taking courageous challenges at every step. You are on your path exactly where you are meant to be right now. And from here, you can only move forward, shaping your life story into a magnificent tale of triumph, of healing, of courage, of beauty, of wisdom, of dignity, and of love. Those beautiful words from Caroline Adams. When I got in my car the other day after hearing that beautiful young woman share, I noticed that I had my radio dialed on 100.3, which I'm going to admit it now, Miss Lori is listening to the oldies. It's called Legends Radio, and it actually plays the golden oldies. And who do you think was singing? Judy Garland. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Spirit. Message number 2. Everything we need, we already have within. And Dorothy said it beautifully. If I ever go looking for my heart's desire again, I won't look any further than my own backyard, because Annie M., there's no place like home. I'm going to step aside for a second. I want to show you where home really is. It's right here. This is home. Surrounded by a white picket fence. That's God. I'm safe. I'm supported. I'm loved. And I am fulfilled. I'm at peace. The last message I've been receiving everywhere in the last few weeks is that we want it to be Christmas in July. Take a look at our bulletin. Christmas dinner, Christmas ornament making. There's a Christmas in July sale over at the mall right now. Even as I was writing my talk yesterday, QVC was schlepping Christmas trees and holiday treats because it's Christmas in July weekend. My own mother called me yesterday to wish me Merry Christmas because she was shopping on QVC. I was in Starbucks in Jupiter. It was all decorated for Christmas, and they were featuring holiday drinks. I walked into a place of business this week that was pumping in the scents of pine and cinnamon and those smells. So I just closed my eyes for a second and breathed in. And it was Christmas. Then a friend stopped by the church office this past week and said, "My mother's been home making things, and she was so inspired, she asked me to bring it to you." It's a Christmas towel. So what is it? I'm convinced it's not the Florida summer heat. I think it's a longing to come together and appreciate and honor and love one another, to celebrate the beautiful joy of life right now. Many years ago, I began a tradition as I packed up my Christmas decorations. Each year, I leave one decoration out. This is my decoration for this year. I brought it to share with you. To remind me that Christmas isn't just a season that comes and goes, but a feeling that I can always have. a consciousness, an awareness, and a remembrance that something wonderful is always being born in my own life and in the lives of those that I love. So today, you know the Sunday school teacher in me, I always like to send you home with a little reminder. So as you leave today, you get a Christmas ornament. And I'm going to invite you to hang this jingle bell up until December 25th to carry you through your Christmas spirit every month until then. Christmas is a state of mind and consciousness. Something wonderful and new is being born in this church. We are on a sacred journey here together, and we are on the right path, right where we're supposed to be, welcoming the birth of something new in our beautiful church community. We have been so blessed by Greg Barrett, and his presence here has truly been of golden significance. And he will leave our church and us, and most certainly me, stronger and more beautiful. Endings are just new beginnings. The Christ is born in you today, in the manger of your own heart, as you rest. Take a rest, you deserve it. As you rest and trust and believe and love the presence of God in this moment of your life. Whatever condition or situation you are presently experiencing, love it. Love the presence of God in it. God's vision for you is far greater than the one you hold for yourself. Like Kintsugi, God sees the golden significance in every event of your life. We need to do the same. We need to do the same. I know it can be hard, but be willing. It's hard when we're in the middle of it, when we're in the painful, frightening, unsure, and sometimes angry times when we're asking, how can this be happening to me? Where is God in this? There will always be things we will not understand because of our own limited view. But that doesn't mean that God isn't in it. God cannot be absent. God cannot be absent in any event of your life or in the lives of those that you love. It just means that sometimes we don't have a good view. But we can change that. We can change that. Prayerfully, resting, trusting. There is an eternal of you that is greater than your human understanding. It is the Christ within you, waiting to be remembered, waiting to be born, waiting to live and love and bless through you, as you. Remember, all the world anticipated that the arrival or the birth of the Savior would be in a grand palace, not in a barn. Oftentimes, new life, new awakenings come in the lowly and most humble moments in our lives. In those times when we believe we are broken and cannot be repaired. In those times when we can't find our way home. In those times of darkness when we feel hopeless and helpless and very alone. when we finally fall to our knees and surrender and behold the inner Christ, and behold a new life within us, and see a light that shines in a new idea, in a new vision, in a new strength, in a new purpose, in a new peace. And peace is the perfect environment. Peace is the perfect environment for seeing all possibility. This idea was powerfully described in the book of Mark. The boat was on the sea, and he was alone on the land. When they saw him walking on the sea, they thought it was a ghost, and they cried out. But immediately he spoke to them and said, "Take heart, it is I. Have no fear." And he got into the boat with them, and the wind ceased, and they were astonished. The disciples thought Jesus was a ghost because they were so focused on the horrible storm. They were caught up in the drama, as we get caught up in the drama, in the upheavals and the sudden changes, in the fear and the sense of doom. And we can get stuck in that anxiety. And then we start placing our belief and our power in a problem. The Christ is the presence of calm, of peace. It is that place that sees all possibility in you. And when we invite that presence into our life, like the disciples invited Jesus into that boat, there will be no crying. There will be no fear. There will be no doubt. And there will be no anxiety. I love the idea of inviting Christ into our lives. Like a treasured guest, we will only want the most lovely space and surroundings for that guest. So we must clear out. We must prepare. We must clear out our old beliefs about ourselves and our past mistakes. We must clear out our old, unforgiving thoughts, our judgments about ourselves and others, our faithless fears, our what we think are justified angers. There are none. We must clear away any thoughts and feelings not suitable for the company of the Christ within. Any thoughts that hurt us. And fill ourselves with thoughts and feelings and beliefs that heal and bless ourselves and others. We must prepare the manger of our hearts for the birth of love and light and peace and wonder, for the miracles and the gift of life. Our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, said it like this for us: "We are surrounded by the pure white light of Christ, into which nothing negative can penetrate, and out of which only good can come." Say that again. We are surrounded by the pure white light of Christ, into which nothing negative can penetrate, and out of which only good can come. Words are so powerful, aren't they? And they do create. Words create. We know that. They can bless us or they can hurt us. So we must remember to send out words in the direction we want our life to go. Can you see that Christ light surrounding you right now? Close your eyes and try that. See that light. Can you see only good coming from you and to you? If you can see it, God can bring it. Can you open up your eyes? If you can see it, God can bring it. But we must always remain open to all the possibilities and all the ways that God brings it. Martha Smock, in her book, Listen, Beloved, writes this. Close your eyes and think of a door. Close your eyes again with me. Now, think of a door. Is the door you see in your mind open or shut? If it's shut, open it. If it's shut, open it now. Open your eyes. See open doors, not closed ones. The open door is symbolic of an open state of mind. There are no closed doors. The door to our good is always, always, always open. There are no closed doors to our health. There are no closed doors to forgiveness. There are no closed doors to supply. There are no closed doors to new love. There are no closed doors to peace. If you have the thought of anything as a closed door, thank God for opening up a new one. Nothing in your past can keep you from a new beginning. Nothing in your past can keep you from a new beginning. The present moment, this one, is the only one that counts. Endings are new beginnings. Today is a new day. And you are a new you. Think of yourself, see yourself walking through an open door to a new life, a new love, a new purpose, a new joy, a new freedom, and most of all, a new sense of who and what you really are. You are a powerful, miraculous, beloved child of God. Prayer opens doors. Prayer restores us to wholeness when we feel broken. Prayer guides us home when we feel lost. Prayer awakens that holy Christ child within each one of us. Our spiritual journeys are uniquely our own. And our guidance from God comes in so many different ways and so many different experiences. It doesn't matter how you've come. It doesn't matter how slow your journey to awakening has seemed. The light of Christ is shining steadily in you and for you. It always has, and it always will. Be still. All is calm, and all is so beautifully bright for you. God bless you.
Whoa. Isn't she beautiful?